Hi, I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan, and we're here to talk to you right now really quickly before we start our show about Joyride.
Yes, indeed. We are looking to, expand upon what we've been doing for the last 3 years.
We want the show to be better. We want to give you better content.
Yeah, so we want to take a stab at producing some stuff. We do it every once in a while, but we want that to be more of a commonplace occurrence on the show.
Right. So we need your help to do that.
Yeah.
Joyride, we have a campaign going there to try and raise some. We have a monthly goal, which I think is actually going to go up. Our monthly goal is going to get higher because we realized that we need to do that. We want to get
it automatically goes up.
Oh, okay.
When we hit that one, then there's another goal to hit.
The
and then after that, there's another goal to hit.
The point is, we've got these goals because we really do want to do a better job, and you can be a part of that.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go to thankgodimatheist.com, click on the Joyride button on the right side of the screen.
Yeah.
That'll take you to our page there. You can watch our video, and then you can choose to donate at whatever level you're comfortable with.
And some of those levels are if you would for as a thank you for an $8 a month donation, you get immortality and access to our digital scrapbook.
We literally will make you immortal.
Yeah.
You cannot die after you've done this.
Well, basically we just say your name on the show. That's all it is. But
no, you're never going to die. That's what we're doing.
Or for $3 a month, we'll thank you with a godless ringtone.
Sure. You can have literally when someone calls you on the phone, our annoying voices will be what you hear.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing.
It's truly amazing.
It's great.
And there's others. Please check it out. It's a huge help.
Yeah. And we'll really appreciate it. And thank you. Hey, enjoy the show.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
And coming up today, the Mormon Church held a press conference this week.
Oh, they had a press conference. It was so exciting.
They don't do that very often.
No, they don't. And when they do, you can be sure nothing you like is going to happen.
Even when ostensibly they're coming out supporting gay rights.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
That's on the that's what the headline says in the Tribune. So
Well, we will discuss all of
we'll
that,
dissect that whole thing.
a little bit later in the show. It's those wacky Mormodoos.
They're wacky.
They're fun.
They're fine.
They're
They're fine.
They're goofy critters. Silly looking. So somebody on the
silly looking.
I think they're
that?
silly looking.
In their suits, you find old men in suits silly.
Yeah, old men in suits look weird, especially when they're grumpy Dallin Oaks or bald, angry-looking man.
Yeah,
He looks like a cross between what does he look like? He's who like Illuminati conspiracy theorists think is one of the lizard people.
Oh, okay.
He's
Okay.
one of them for sure.
I was thinking, for some reason, Jesse Ventura came to mind.
He's not
He's
not big like that, but he's just got that.
like if you crossed Jesse Ventura with just a sad old man.
No, see, I'm always thinking in terms of do you remember that '70s show? The dad on that '70s show. If you shaved him straight bald and made him just as angry or angrier, you'd have a guy that looks like Dallin Oaks. Anyway, I'm going to start us off because
okay, good.
Because my first story is a very, very sad story, and I want to get it out of the way so that we can move on to happier, and funnier things.
Okay.
This is a story this happened in Springfield, Utah.
Springfield?
Springville.
Yeah. Okay.
Spring something.
Springton.
Springvinton. In Springville, Utah, this is a small town in Utah County. Very Mormon-y area. Springville itself isn't maybe quite as Mormon-y as like Provo, which is fairly nearby and whatever, but still
Where is Springville?
Just
is south of Provo.
Okay. Yeah, they've got a very nice. It's sort of an artistic community, actually.
Are they the ones with the little?
They've got a little art museum and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Anywho, they also used to have a family known as the Stracks. Ben and Christy Strack and their 4 children, 3 of whom are Benson, 14, Emery, 12, and Zion, 11.
Okay.
And this is Utah, so it's not going to be pronounced Zion. It's going to be pronounced Zion.
Zion.
Because that's how we pronounce it.
Yeah.
So and then they had an 18-year-old who was out of the household. What has happened is a murder-suicide. The whole family.
I didn't know there was an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
The 18-year-old is still alive?
The 18-year-old is the one that found them.
Oh, dear God.
They were all poisoned to death. It would appear that the adults did in their children and then did themselves in. Yeah, it's just one of those horrifying things, and it's I felt like we needed to talk about it because it is pretty clear that the reason that they did this was because they had this big apocalypse fear. This sort of evil of the world is going to get them, and there's a pending apocalypse. And there's apparent solution is to kill all of them.
To avoid the apocalypse.
Right. Let's just get out of harm's way by...
why not wait until the apocalypse begins?
Right?
Why do you have to do it so in advance? Like
check it out. It might be an interesting apocalypse. And then you're like, you might miss it. What if there are fireworks and who knows?
Well, most good apocalypse.
I think it's called
apoxyli.
I think the plural is apocalypto.
Yeah, okay. There were many. Yeah. I just that's
it's a horrific thing, and
so clearly religious belief.
Yeah. And then
is what got in,
and there's a strange twist to it, which is that do you know who Dan Lafferty is? He's a killer. This
is Under the Banner of Heaven.
That's right. That's right. The Krakauer book.
Yeah.
This is a guy who he and his brother.
The Lafferty brothers.
They got together. They killed some folks because God told them to.
Yeah.
Lafferty's still in jail here in Utah.
Yep. And that's a fascinating read, folks. I don't think we've ever had that come up before. The Under the Banner of Heaven.
Yeah, I mean,
if you want a glimpse into crazy Utah, that's a good read.
Yeah, I mean, not all of Utah is like that, of course.
No, but if you want to know what makes us tick,
oh God, apparently murder. So what's interesting is that these two folks, the Ben and Christy Strack, had a connection to Dan Lafferty and would visit him in jail and stuff.
Did they know him before he was in jail?
Somehow she knew his daughter or something like that. But I mean, it was the police say that
is this connection to Lafferty?
It's hard to say. The police say they haven't visited him for years, but then Lafferty himself said that when he died, he wanted them to be in charge of his remains. So it's there's clearly a deep connection there.
Yeah.
And nobody knows how big the connection is, or if the connection's related to these guys killing themselves. They also
that's the question. It's I guess a piece of trivia that they knew him, but unless it's actually relevant to the reason why they killed their family and themselves, that I don't fully know why it's being reported. I guess I don't know.
Well, it's do you establish? Is there a connection between Lafferty and this event occurring? But clearly, but I mean, again, if the connection is nothing more than this rural Utah crazy religion state of mind that gets you to the point where killing doesn't seem crazy.
Right.
And killing yourself doesn't seem crazy.
Or your children.
Yeah, your own fucking children.
Yeah. But it's some kind of like fucked up mercy killing in their mind, right?
Yeah.
They think that they're doing some good thing. They don't want their kids to suffer through an apocalypse.
I guess. I mean, honestly,
that they somehow know is coming. Wow, my voice is great today.
You get it. You get that worked out.
I don't know if it is, but
I hope so.
I think it's adding a nice kind of sultry,
a sort of unlistenable feel.
Yeah,
yeah, that's great.
Woo.
So yeah, I mean, this concept of there's so much evil in the world that it's better to kill your kids. And the kids knew it was coming too. The 14-year-old actually wrote a letter to his friend saying something about like, hey, you can have my toys or whatever.
Oh, God.
And hinting that he knew that he wasn't going to be in this world for very long. So
God.
they probably told their kids about it, like leading up to this. It's horrific.
That's
and it's,
up.
If you have family members that talk crazy, the problem is like, at what point do you call authorities? Because we all have family members that talk a bunch of crazy nonsense about religion.
Hopefully not this crazy.
But if it's getting to this point, you need to call somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
They also had a history of drug abuse and stuff. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Only religion gets you to this point. Like, crazy gets you
to lots of points.
Yeah.
But, and you could come up with a crazy person could still think that, like, they're protecting their kids from some impending doom.
Yeah.
It is possible. But it's just you don't hear that one very often.
And the fact that absolutely insane and religious have overlap, have very clear overlap.
Well, the thing
That's
is
scary to me.
Well, here's the deal though. Like, we have, in order to imagine it being from insanity, you have to like push that insanity so far. Right?
Yeah.
But to attribute it to religious belief, you really don't have to push religion that far.
You have to push yourself that far.
Yeah.
Because humans inherently know, don't kill your kids.
Yeah.
But you get enough religion in you.
Yeah.
And this is what happens.
This is it.
All right.
Well, I would. I have one I want to get out of the way.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get it.
It's a fascinating.
Boy, what a great show where we're just trying to get shit out of the way. What a good show we've decided to come up with.
No. This is a good one.
Oh, good.
This is a fun one.
Oh, good.
But I want to get it out of the way.
Okay, let's go.
Because it's anyway. I don't need to explain myself, Dan.
I know.
So this is. I love these survey things, right? Then this is described as a sweeping survey of America's Bible reading habits.
Oh,
and they are using Bible reading as an indicator in order to rank the most Bible-minded cities in the U.S. That's their terminology. Bible-minded.
Bible-mindedness.
Bible-minded. And so they it took 10 years. They are surveyed 63,000 adults over a 10-year period, and they focused on the 100 largest metropolitan areas in the country. Okay, which of course Salt Lake is one of.
It is indeed.
And participants were considered, quote, Bible-minded if they reported reading the Bible at least once in the previous 7 days. When they were
previous 7 days.
And said that they agreed strongly with the accuracy of Scripture.
Oh, they have to do both of those things.
Both of those things, and then they're Bible-minded.
Oh.
Okay.
Because I was going to say, they catch me on the right week, several weeks.
Yeah, it's not just
I've read the Bible.
You're not Bible-minded, Dan.
But I am not Bible-minded.
No, because
I agree strongly that book is nutso.
Exactly. So let's play a little quizzy game.
Oh, you love it.
I love quizzy ones. Some of these cities, though, aren't going to be the obvious ones. Well, here's the first one. Where do you think, out of 100 metropolitan areas in the United States, where do you think Salt Lake is going to land in this?
Okay, so Salt Lake City itself, Salt Lake City proper.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking about metropolitan area or Salt Lake City or the city itself?
It says, let me just double check this. Where was
I mean, you'll agree with me that makes a difference in Salt Lake City.
The 100 largest metropolitan areas.
Okay. Oh, metropolitan areas. Okay, so that makes a huge difference in
that
this.
Makes
in
a
this
big
town.
difference. Yeah.
I would say it was pretty high.
Okay. How high? How high would you put it, Dan?
I would put Salt Lake in the top 10.
Really?
I mean, you think about it. Salt Lake City proper, Salt Lake City itself, within the limits of the city limits,
right,
is about 50-50 Mormon and not, right?
Right, yeah.
So you got half of the city that's pretty strong believers, and Mormons have a big push to read their scriptures.
Right.
Bible's sort of the lesser of them, but
where would you put New York City?
Low.
Low?
Yeah.
How low?
99.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, your instinct is right to push it low.
But
would you guess that Salt Lake City would be the next highest from New York?
What?
Ranking at 90th and New York City as 91st?
That's crazy.
Can you believe it?
Frank, it's working. What we're doing is working. We've fixed Salt Lake.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we beat out Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is more Bible reading. Denver is more Bible reading than us.
Yeah, well, Denver's surrounded by like the what's the where Air Force Academy is and all of
like Colorado Springs.
Yeah. Denver's surrounded by a lot
evangelical types.
Evangelical nutballs.
Yeah. I don't know if that falls into the Denver metropolitan area, though.
I mean, you know what? The problem is that Mormons have so many other scriptures that they can
have
be reading.
other. Yeah, it depends on what year you call them Mormons.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
They rotate through the books. They'll focus on the Old Testament
in their Sunday schools.
The New Testament the next year.
Everybody's studying the same thing worldwide.
Oh. Same lesson.
Right. So if you catch them on the right week, they're all like Utah would be number one all of a sudden.
But I don't think it
2 weeks after this poll.
Because let's face it, Mormons don't really read the Bible. And they kind of fail at the second part of the test, which is that they strongly agree with the accuracy of the scripture.
But they do.
No, only insofar as much as it has been translated correctly.
I can't believe that this is baffling to me because because Mormons are the most church attendingest people in the world,
but they're not Bible minded.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
Bizarre. That's bizarre.
Just so we don't leave everybody hanging about what was the number one most Bible-minded
It's going to be like Birmingham, Alabama, or
ding. Did
I hit
it?
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
The Birmingham, Anniston, Tuscaloosa metropolitan area.
Yeah, I mean these are not hard to guess. Salt Lake is baffling to me.
Yeah. Number 2 is Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tri-Cities, Tennessee is number 3. Roanoke, Lynchburg, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
And Shreveport, Louisiana. That's the top 5.
Interesting.
And then just some. I don't know how interesting these other ones are, but like
who give us the bottom 5?
Oh, the bottom 5. That's good. Yeah. Coming in at 96, we have Cedar Rapids, Waterloo, Iowa.
Oh, wow.
97, we have San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose.
Okay, that doesn't surprise anybody.
98, Boston, Massachusetts. 99, Albany, Schenectady, and Troy.
Oh, okay.
And 100th, the least Bible-y place in the country.
Is it going to be... Wait, should I make a guess?
Make a guess, yeah.
It's either going to be the Northwest or the Northeast. It's either going to be like Seattle or Portland, or it's going to be like Bangor, Maine. I don't know.
Providence, Rhode Island, New Bedford.
Oh, okay. There you go. See?
Yep.
See?
Yep. Yeah. But I love that. There's a lot of places that we are less Bible-y than.
That's amazing.
Most of the country.
That's amazing. That's shocking.
I thought so. Which is why I love these little things.
I just like taking credit for it. It's us. We did it. We've solved.
I don't think so.
Oh, God.
I don't think so. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're right.
Sorry.
When I say this phrase, "ordain women," Frank, what do you think of?
Well, I think of what's her name?
Kate Kelly.
Kate Kelly, and her little cadre of Mormon feminists who are looking to get the priesthood.
Right, the women who are trying to get the priesthood. Well, they're never. That's just not going to happen if the Mormons ever do it. It'll be a long time. However,
okay,
I have stories of other religions ordaining women.
Ooh, okay.
We reported a few months ago that the Church of England had decided finally that they were going to allow women bishops.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first one has happened.
Oh, okay.
Reverend Libby Lane, which she's Lois Lane's sister.
Libby Lane.
Libby Lane is now
her aunt.
It's her aunt. Bishop Libby Lane.
Oh no,
she is. She is a bishop. She was ordained by Uganda-born Archbishop of York, John Sentamu, who laid hands upon Miss Libby and done turned her into a bishop.
That's amazing.
So the article that I'm reading, I'm hoping that they're the ones that got this wrong and not Archbishop of Canterbury Justin Welby, but he's quoted as saying it's a completely new phrase in our existence. I think they mean phase, but it says phrase.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, her husband, strangely, interestingly, this is a weird household, also an ordained priest.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah.
Is he also C of E?
Yeah. No, he's in a competing faction. He's an imam.
You never know.
He's an know. Boy, there's your sitcom.
That's a good one.
The bishop and the imam. He keeps telling her to wear a headscarf, and she's like, "It won't fit over my tall hat."
Oh, and I was busy working on some sort of pun with Imam, and I couldn't get it.
Imam and Dad.
There you go. There you go.
That's about the gay Muslim family.
Or she's the Imam.
Oh, impossible.
She's the female cleric.
Yeah, Mission Imam Possible.
Oh
no. Anyway,
yes, Imam.
So that's one story. There you go. It's all very fascinating. But I wanted to also bring up an interesting other story that stumbled across my eyeballs. In Kansas City.
No. You don't get two stories.
No. These are connected. I'm connecting two things.
Okay.
Because this is.
Let's see where this goes. I'll grant you some latitude.
Thank you. Oh, he's so generous with me, listeners. Isn't he? In Missouri, a Missouri woman, a sister of St. Joseph, a nun, has claimed to be the first woman to be ordained a Roman Catholic priest in Kansas City.
Is that allowed?
No, it is absolutely not.
Wait a second.
Apparently, there's a whole thing that happens where there's even an association of Roman Catholic women priests.
Okay.
The ordination of Sister Georgia Walker, Reverend Georgia Walker, took place by Bishop Bridget Mary Meehan of this association. Apparently, they're just doing this subversively.
Yeah,
they're just like, fuck you. I got the call. I'm getting ordained, and then they get excommunicated later. So
okay.
I don't know.
Fine.
I don't know what it ends up meaning. She said that what the official church does to me is not relevant. They can't take away my baptism. They can't take away my calling to the priesthood. All they can do is deny me their sacraments.
Wow. But she now has her own.
Yeah, she says, but now I am a priest and I can provide those sacraments. Not just to myself, but to others.
Oh, she's crazy.
This is a whole organization of crazy. They're just like, fuck it. We're doing our own thing.
Rogue priests.
They have gone rogue. They've gone entirely rogue.
Going rogue.
Yeah.
By Sister Mary, whatever her name is.
I think we should. Yeah, there's another good sitcom. Except they did it. It's called The Vicar of Dibley.
Yeah.
So
well, this is just the priest of, what was it, Omaha?
Kansas City.
There
you go.
Not very exciting. My guess is the original will be better.
Yeah. As it so often is.
Yeah. All right. We remember, Dan, that story in Colorado with the bakery, the refused to bake a cake for the lesbian couple's wedding.
Yeah.
Right. You remember this whole thing,
because lesbians don't like cake.
Well, and they were doing them a service.
Yeah.
By
she was
denying them
just like, no, you guys don't want this.
Or more likely they were portly. And
you do not need any more cake.
You don't need cake, ma'am.
Ma'am, I will be happy to provide you with a nice...
And there go our lesbian listeners.
We love you, lesbians. You know that, right? Anyway, no, yes, I remember
you
this
that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, we... So there is a follow-up of sorts to this whole thing. A certain individual by the name of Bill Jack.
Bill Jack.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
William John. He God, how does this go? So he goes into a bakery and asks to have a cake baked in the shape of a Bible.
Okay.
And on one side of this open Bible, he wants, it's two cakes, both in the shape of Bibles. So one of them is supposed to say, God hates fags.
Oh, nice.
And the other one is to have an image of two men holding hands covered by a big red X. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Incorrect. We were looking for a man and a woman.
Exactly. Yep. And the bakery, Azúcar Bakery, Azúcar Bakery, I don't know, means sugar, right? In Spanish.
Yeah.
Whatever. How do you say it?
Sugar Bakery.
Said no.
Uh-oh.
She said, I'll bake you the cake. That's fine. If you want to write something offensive on it, I'll even provide you with the materials to write the offensive thing. I'm not going to write the offensive statement on the cake. Okay. But I'm accommodating you as much as I can without infringing on my sense of my own freedom of speech and freedom of expression.
Right.
And
so he's clearly going in there to just fuck with them.
Yeah. He's staging this whole thing because he figures somebody's going to say, no, get out of here.
Right.
And instead she's being really sweet about it and providing as much service as she can.
But in the end, she's doing the same thing that the other...
But is she?
Isn't she?
Is she?
Isn't she?
Here's why I'll say that she is not doing the exact same thing.
Okay.
In my mind, when a lesbian couple walks into a bakery and they're denied a cake that is just a normal cake that bakery always normally makes, it's just a wedding cake.
Yeah.
Right. They're being denied services based on who they are.
Okay.
Whereas this guy goes in and he's asking for a cake that is a custom cake, sure. But she's not denying him service based on who he is. She's saying, "I'll give you a cake. I'll sell you a cake all the live long day. I don't care who you are. You're whatever special class of person you might be.
Right. And he's clearly a special class of person.
But he instead is asking, she doesn't have to make a cake in the shape of a penis,
right?
Just because that's what a customer is asking for. She if that's not a service that she provides,
right?
Making, what do they call them? Fancy special
erotic
cakes. Thank you. That's not what she does. She also doesn't make cakes that she writes offensive things on.
Right. Okay. I mean, I can see that if it's about the person rather than it being about the content.
Yeah.
That's an issue. That's a thing. But I mean, couldn't the other baker argue that it's about the content on the cake? It's not about these two lesbians. I'll make them any other cake that they want, but the content on the cake, they want it to be a lesbian wedding cake. But I guess it's not like they're asking her to write the word lesbian on it.
No.
In frosting.
No, because wedding cakes typically
These
don't
days
have anything written on
Right. They don't, and then you don't even
congrats.
put like the little bride and groom statues on there anymore.
No.
But if it was
just
a
put
bride
a lot of
and
flowers.
a bride.
Lots of flowers
Right.
or
Something,
something pretty.
Well, or in the case of a lesbian cake, like a Jeep and a dog and a guitar.
Once again, we apologize, lesbian listeners.
No, that one I'm not apologizing for. You all know.
As long as it's a Subaru, I guess.
Oh my God! Did I ever tell you the story about when Andrea and I had that old Subaru and we had the Human Rights Campaign sticker on it?
Yeah,
so it was like it was basically the gayest car in the world, and we drove that around a lot. And Andrea was it was mostly her car, so she drove that around a lot. And then we had a neighbor one day, a drunken lesbian neighbor, come down. She could see through our window because she was up and like off to the side of our thing, so she could see that we were up. And like 2 a.m, she comes knocking on our door, and I open the door and I'm like, "Hi." She's like, "Hi." My friend and I had a bet about what was in that bottle there, and she's like, "Is it brandy or is it da-da-da?" And the real reason she was there, it finally comes out, is she wants to know if Andrea's a lesbian and if she'll date her.
Oh.
And I was like, it's our fault.
Yeah.
This is totally our fault.
That car was a massive, she was just leading on
all of these women.
Misrepresenting her own sexuality.
She was. It was
really?
It was
driving
a lie.
around Salt Lake City.
My wife was
in a lie.
Was a liar.
She was driving a lie.
You are driving a lie. I mean, we were obviously very sweet about it, and Andrea was flattered.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was just one of the things. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Oh, no,
our
sorry.
fault.
Yeah.
Our fault entirely.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, going back to this story.
Oh.
She what's his name? Jack something or other. Bill Jack.
Mm-hmm.
He has complained. He's filed a complaint.
Yeah.
For a civil rights violation with the Colorado Civil Rights Commission.
Right. We have. I have civil
rights to have offensive hate cake made.
Hate cake.
He deserves to have his hate cake
and eat it too.
Dumb.
Anyway, all right, we'll move on.
Please
cake.
do. Please do.
So you remember just a few weeks ago, we reported on Burke the Jerk, Cardinal Raymond Burke, who was very concerned about the Catholic Church being feminized.
Bunch of Nancy priests,
right?
Walking around,
right? Yeah, I mean, you spend enough time in the Vatican, I'm guessing you're going to see some feminization. I mean, even if it's just Pope Emeritus Benedict in his
I've only seen a couple like
loafers,
really butch priests.
Yeah,
in my day. Not that I've seen a ton of priests, but
there have been some big burly ones.
Yeah, they don't seem to happen very often.
No. And what you end up seeing is
there was a very handsome priest coming back through immigration the last time I was out of the country.
Yeah,
and it was a flight from Italy, and so was it? No, but anyway, I was coming back from Italy, and very handsome. He had my eye the entire flight, and then it was just like standing there, oogling him through immigration. I was like, you can stay in line in front of me, please do.
You're like, do you want to join the Mile High Heavenly Club?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so Cardinal Burke is very upset about things like altar girls.
Terrible.
He's very upset about it because
get them out of there.
Because
get those girls out of there.
The girls are
they're screwing up everything.
Well, someone's listening. And thank God for it.
No.
The Reverend Joseph Elo who is the parish priest in San Francisco parish,
Okay.
has decided that only boys will serve his altar. That's
Don't
not a
phrase it that way.
euphemism.
Do not phrase it that way.
That sounds really bad. But what could how do you make it sound any worse than it actually is? He's a priest, a Catholic priest,
insisting on only boys.
On only boys. It's never going to sound okay. There's no way you can do that and make it sound okay.
You can't step back from this one, can you?
No.
Yeah.
No. Where am I going to go? That's just they leave me no space.
I only want little boys in my altar.
Yeah, he says he's using Cardinal Burke's sort of reasoning. He says that the first thing he said as a reason why he's not allowing the girls is that, quote, boys usually end up losing interest because girls generally do a better job.
Oh no, and they have cooties.
and cooties. So his idea is make sure you eliminate the ones who do the best work.
Right.
And get those shitty workers going. Apparently they're terrible at it. But he said that the important thing is...
Never mind.
He said that the important thing is that altar service is intrinsically tied to the priesthood and serve as feeder programs for the seminary.
Okay.
So he's trying to get more priests.
You don't want to be feeding those girls toward the priesthood.
No, then you get that lady in Kansas City,
crazy lady.
Yeah,
insanity.
They just go and ordain them their damn selves if you're not careful.
Uppity. That's the problem with women.
They're uppity.
They're uppity.
He doesn't want any more uppity women in the church. Go back into your seat, altar girls.
Yeah. You're dismissed.
You are summarily dismissed, madam.
And then come here, little boy.
Now, gather all the little boys to me. Hey, you want to swing my incense?
Oh God, Dan. Do the altar boys don't do that, do they? They just never mind. I don't care what altar boys do. All right. Well, sticking with Catholicism.
Yeah.
Another update story.
Oh.
I hate to say it, another one. You will recall last year the story of the doves that were attacked by a crow and a seagull at the Vatican.
Yeah, it was horrific.
When Pope Francis released them with 2 children.
And apparently he released them having it douse them in smells that drive other birds insane.
Chicken bouillon. They gave him a bath in bouillon first.
Or something.
I don't know.
It was the weirdest. Who? Honestly, Frank, have you ever heard of a crow or a seagull attacking another bird? We have seagulls all over the place here. We have crows.
But not a lot of other birds, Dan. Have you noticed that?
There's plenty of birds. There's plenty of pigeons for the seagulls and crows to attack.
That's true.
I've never
and
seen
pigeons are basically doves.
They're the same thing.
They're basically the same thing. All right. In order to avoid another international incident that this thing became last year when they released the peace doves, they have decided to release peace balloons.
So instead of freeing captive animals, they've decided to litter.
Yeah,
That's basically where they've gone.
Although, Dan, I needed some information about balloons.
Okay.
So I wound up on a website called theballooncouncil.org. This is a balloon advocacy group that lobbies for the balloon industry.
I don't know
in Washington, D.C.
I don't know that I've ever heard a stupider phrase than balloon advocacy. I think that may be I think I lost 2 IQ points just hearing that phrase spoken.
The Balloon Council, affirming America's ongoing love affair with balloons.
Don't. I can't.
So I found their myths versus facts page.
Oh, good for you. Well done.
And they actually addressed this issue of litter. Okay.
Well,
myth. Balloons create a large amount of litter. Fact, latex balloons are biodegradable and in fact do not make up for a large percentage of litter.
Oh, shut the fuck up. The only reason it doesn't feel like litter is because it goes up instead of down when you let go of it. If you had an uninflated balloon and you just let go of that and it just fell to the ground, Dan, everybody would be like, why are you just letting yourself do that?
But no, Dan, recently during a U.S. coastal cleanup, balloons/balloon pieces accounted for less than 0.7% of the total debris collected. So the balloons are not the problem that you're trying to make them out to be, Dan. You're trying to villainize the balloons.
Yeah, that's because I'm president of the Balloon Defamation League. I fucking hate balloons. It's true. I do hate balloons.
No.
Yeah. I'm their nemesis.
Now, I will say this about the balloon release. And I had to double check because there's this myth that balloon releases are harmful. The fact is, when executed properly, latex balloon releases are fine. The important thing about this that you need to remember is the industry guidelines require that balloons be self-tied and have no attached strings or ribbons.
Oh, shut up.
All right. Now, when I looked at the picture of the balloon release happening in St. Peter's Square, there are clearly strings attached to the balloons.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous thing to say. That you can't have string. It's going to have a string attached. It's going to have a ribbon. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb.
And it's important to remember that rarely do released balloons return to the Earth's surface intact.
No.
They usually they get up to about an altitude of 5 miles,
Holy
at which
shit.
point they freeze and then burst into spaghetti like strips of latex that then fall to the earth and are scattered, of course, by wind and whatnot as they do.
Sure.
So this is not a problem. The Pope is the only problem that I really see with this is that he does have strings attached to the balloon.
I think it's still litter.
Even the strings are litter. The balloons, Dan.
No, it's still litter.
No. The Balloon Council is very clear on this.
I defy the Balloon Council. I know that they're a powerful, powerful lobby, and I probably shouldn't say anything. It's like saying something about the Scientologists or something.
Oh, no, it really is. I mean, this website is just amazing. I mean, there's a big banner at the top that says information about the Helium Stewardship Act, and just like there's a lot.
Well, that's true because we're like running out of helium.
Yeah, it's true.
Yet another reason to hate balloons.
And the Pope for releasing them in St. Peter's Square as peace symbols.
He should have used hydrogen instead of helium.
Highly flammable.
Yeah, but even lighter weight. It would have gone up faster. And then if a bird attacks it,
oh, God.
Fuck you, bird. That's your explosion.
Yeah, anyway,
well,
that's that.
If you want to defend or attack balloons as a peace symbol, you can do so by writing into us. We're reachable at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail at 424-666-8442.
Sure, or go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Or search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge on Facebook. And Dan may or may not let you in.
Well, I probably will let you in. I may have let some people in that weren't supposed to be let in.
Uh-oh.
So we'll see.
Have you seen some...
Nope, I haven't seen
negative bad activity.
Nope, we haven't. We haven't had any problems.
That's
yet.
good. And of course, you can always follow us on Twitter at TGIAtheist. And actually, there's a fun photo of us pre-show on
today.
Twitter that you might want to check out.
Sure.
So yeah, let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
This is who was this? Mike Huckabee.
Yes.
And he's got a important little sermon that he's preaching here.
Yeah.
As a kid, I remember we would have people come to our school and do assemblies and chapel services in a public school. And they would talk to us about Jesus. The Gideons would give us Bibles. And nobody got arrested. Nobody got sued. And by the way, nobody got hurt either. Because we were bringing Bibles to school, people weren't bringing guns to school, except for the deer hunters who left them in their trucks. We prayed at my school. We prayed the first thing every day. We said Pledge of Allegiance. We had a Bible reading. We had a prayer. And then we prayed again on the way to the cafeteria for lunch. Now, if you'd seen what they were serving in our cafeteria, you would have prayed too again.
He's funny.
Oh, that was clever.
Oh my God, he's just a charmer. That
man. It's interesting because I remember when I was in school, I would look at my backpack and I would look at the things that I wanted to take to school, and I was like, I can bring my Bible, but then I won't have room for my gun.
Yeah.
And I just kept going back and forth, Bible or gun, Bible or gun.
How can I possibly take both?
Right. Yeah.
And kill in the name of God.
In the end, I realized that I could fit the Bible and a knife, so that's what I did. That was my thing.
Or you could hollow out the Bible and put the gun in there.
Ooh. Now you're talking.
And then they just think you got a Bible.
Yeah. Nobody, by the way, got hurt when Mike Huckabee went to school because of the Bibles and the praying.
Right. No, that's important.
Nobody got hurt.
Nobody did.
That's
they
what he
prayed
said.
A lot. Yeah.
So that's good.
No, but nobody got hurt by what, though? He's not very clear.
Nobody got hurt, ever. Bibles. They saved them.
Where did he go to high school? Like, what is this idyllic
Oh, he was the only student.
He was homeschooled.
He was homeschooled. So nobody did get hurt. The deer hunters that he's referring to are his brothers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And they just
left
left their guns in the car.
By the way, I looked it up. Altar servers do have the burning incense thing.
Oh, really?
They act as thurifer, which just sounds...
Altar servers? That's what they call them now?
Mm-hmm, because they're girls. There are girls, so you can't just say altar boys. So it's altar servers.
That's really lame. Why not just like lady altar boy?
How about just lady boy? Altar chick?
Altar girl. The altar girls and boys.
Altar girls and boys. Yeah.
Anyway,
we got we had a little bit of correspondence, not much this week. But I did want to get to a couple of things. Zach wrote into us. Zach said, I started school yesterday and was just bombarded by literally dozens of people asking if I wanted to join their Bible study groups.
Oh.
After politely saying no and having the same question forced upon me again several feet later, I decided to take action today. I have attached a picture of my secret weapon, and I think you'll like it. Anyway, I hope...
What's the picture?
He's wearing a Thank God I'm Atheist t-shirt.
Oh, well done.
Ta-da! See, Thank God I'm Atheist is useful not only to tickle your eardrums, but also as to ward off the evil spirits of Bible thumpers.
Yeah.
So,
although it gives them an extra special challenge.
Well, there you go. Then if they take that as a challenge, then you can take that as your challenge to Bogosian the hell out of them.
Go for it. Bagoge away.
Bagoge those fuckers until they're until they're bagoged out. Anyway, so that's that. I wanted to get to. We have several new supporters, and I wanted to thank them. Stephen is a new subscriber, so thank you so much, Stephen.
Thanks, Stephen.
And Heather also. Actually, Stephen, Heather, and Bryce are our three new PayPal subscribers.
Okay.
Wanted to thank all of you guys for that. Yeah. That's really, really generous of you. Do we have any new Joyride subscribers?
We do. However, I can't tell the new ones from the old ones. So I'm going to rattle off all the names, and I'm going to come up with a system this week to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Okay.
All right.
Good. Go.
So we have Mike, Brian, Michael, Scott, Henry, Jason, Daniel, Josh, Chris, and Jerry. That's a lot of dudes.
Ladies,
where are you?
Step it up. What is going on? We got Heather. Heather's nice.
Yeah, Heather's good, but Heather's not awesome. Over at Joyride. Joyride it's a little bit of a sausage fest over at Joyride right now. So.
Well, there you go.
But thank you.
Yes,
thank
absolutely.
You
if you would like to participate in this, we encourage you now to go to Joyride and participate in our Joyride campaign.
Absolutely.
You can still, you can donate however it pleases you.
Oh,
and we don't discriminate. But we're trying to hit that Joyride campaign. So go to thankgodimatheist.com.
Yep.
On the right side of the page, there's a little banner that says Joyride. It
Click
says,
on that, and you'll figure out the rest.
Yep. The rest is there for you.
All right. Well, Dan.
Yes.
There was a press conference this week here in town.
Press conference. It was so funny. They announced it apparently over like social media.
Ooh, they tweeted about it. Dallin H. Oaks tweeted.
Yeah, exactly. What is this thing? Yeah, he did like a 700 character tweet. Got all broken up.
Your attendance is politely requested at a press conference to be held later this afternoon at the church office building.
In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. So they held this news conference. It's pretty rare that they do that. I'm going to read you, Frank, two headlines.
Okay.
From two national publications.
Okay.
So not local publications.
Okay.
First one is the Washington Post.
Okay.
Mormon Church announces support for legal protections for gay people.
Okay. All
right. That's the Washington Post.
Wow. That's really positive. That's what they did?
Yes. Or the New York Times version. Mormon Church wants freedom to discriminate.
Wait, is that what they did? What did they announce?
What did they say?
What was this press conference?
What could have happened?
Oh my God.
So the three different people got up to talk at this stupid press conference. They didn't just have their PR person, their spokesperson.
No, they got Grumpy Okie Pants.
They did get Grumpy McOkie Pants. So it was Jeffrey R. Holland. Well, the first person to get up to speak was a lady.
No,
I'm trying to find her name. It's not like it matters. It's not like she matters in the church. She's just that lady.
She was the woman who stood up at the thing.
Yeah, she was the first one to speak.
Neil Marriott.
Is that who? Yes,
yep.
That's right. Oh, yeah, and she has the name Marriott, so that kind of feels...
lends some cachet.
Right. But as all women who are in any kind of authority position in the church do, she made sure to talk to us all like we were four.
I didn't watch the video. Did she really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was that whole, and then we'll all just be happy. We love our gay brothers and sisters.
Did she say that?
It's something along those lines. Here's the thing.
I know the really shocking thing was that she uttered the word homosexual at one point.
They also used the term LGBT.
Amazing.
Which, okay,
because this is SSA.
You non-Mormons need to understand that Mormonism has been on this sort of very slow path toward, if you go back to the 80s and 90s, you can read all sorts of propaganda about how homosexuality is like the worst thing that can ever happen, and it's a choice that you're making, and you're being bad.
Though they're right on that.
Well, obviously,
it's just a horrible I cannot believe now that I actually chose it.
Yeah. Now you're regretting.
Now I kind of regret it, but it's just the path that I'm on now.
Yeah, it's your choice.
It's been horrible.
You're not. You've got stick-to-itiveness. You don't make a choice and then back off.
No, that's not part of who I am at all.
So they went from that to, saying that some of our members suffer from same-sex attraction. And it's we feel so bad for them, and we will help them in any way we can. Oh. And then they switched to, we recognize, and they said this very quietly, so not all the members could hear. They really just wanted outsiders to hear and not really members. But then they said, look, we know you didn't choose it, so that's okay. We forgive you for being gross, but just... all you have to do now, you can still be a member in good standing with the church. All you have to do is be celibate for your entire life, or else fuck girls that gross you out.
Right.
Or boys that gross you out if you're a lesbian.
Right.
That's been the law, but it's always been same-sex attraction.
Right.
Now they're talking about LGBT people.
I like LGBT SSA.
Well, that's not what they said. at this press conference.
They just said LGBT.
They said LGBT, and that's
unbelievable.
I don't think you guys understand how like monumental this is.
They've basically not. They've spent all this time not acknowledging that gay and lesbians exist as gay and lesbian people.
Right.
It's just these people who have this perversion and
right.
this same-sex attraction that they're just not strong enough to overcome.
Right. Or something like that. So it's pretty amazing that they said that. Now, here's what else they said. Okay. They said that they're LGBT people. They said, you know what? We think that LGBT people should have protections. They should not be discriminated against for employment or for housing.
Yeah. And you hear that, and it's like, well, what's going on over at the LDS Church? They're kind of getting some things figured out.
It does feel that way.
That sounds nice, Dan.
No,
that right there that's good stuff.
It is good stuff, and there's precedent for this with the LDS Church. When Salt Lake City came out with protections for it,
well, they supported it.
Well, they were in the middle of being slammed for their support of Prop 8 in California and everything. Right. So they came out and they were like, yeah. we think that's fine if a non-discrimination policy.
Well, yeah, and then a bunch of like Salt Lake County then came out with one right after that. Summit County issued a similar policy. West Valley City, Ogden, Park City, Moab, they all adopted the same sort of thing, the non-discrimination ordinances. Right.
So now the LDS Church has basically said, hey, you can go ahead and make that statewide.
We're nationwide.
We're good with that. We like that.
Yeah.
And all they want in return, Frank, all they want in return is their religious freedom.
But
that's all they want.
But no, Dan. That's not all they want.
What?
They don't want just the religious freedom that, lets them sort of, go about and
practice their religion
according to the dictates of their own conscience.
Yeah, that's all they want, Frank.
No.
What are you saying they want?
They want, well, what's the phrasing? They want to be free to
hate queers.
Continue hating queers, and not have to deal with the the ramifications of that.
Right.
And to highlight that, they brought up these cases of, what was it, a chief executive at Mozilla who was let go or shouted down from his position after he supported Prop 8, right? Mm-hmm. And what was the Mormon Olympian?
Oh,
who after he supported Prop 8 out in California, he was sort of shouted down from his figurehead position with the U.S.
with the
Olympic team.
Yeah,
and so they're just up in arms. They want civility. They want people. Listen, if we give you this non-discrimination thing, we don't want. We want to take the word bigot off the table.
Yeah, that's basically what's
you
funny.
You can't call us bigots.
The amazing line, and I wish I had it right here in front of me. I'll track it down. But the amazing line that they snuck in there, and it was snuck in sort of the middle of everything, was a line about we all need to practice good statesmanship, excellent statesmanship, and it doesn't help anything when any of us are bigoted, or no, not bigoted. When any of us, I'm sorry, I'm saying this as I'm looking.
I've got a good one pulled up.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is Oakes, right?
Okay,
Dallin H. Oakes. And he says, when religious people are publicly intimidated, retaliated against, forced from employment, or made to suffer personal loss because they have raised their voice in the public square or donated to a cause or participated in an election, our democracy is the loser. Oh. Such tactics are every bit as wrong as denying access to employment, housing, or public services because of race or gender.
Right. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what my response to that is?
What is that?
You can take your fucking non-discrimination bill and shove it up your ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
no,
you mean
it's not going to come with strings attached?
If you have to do a quid pro quo?
No fucking strings attached here. Take that Non-Discrimination Act and shove it.
Yeah.
You don't get to like get all like high and mighty or hoity-toity or whatever. You don't get to like get up on your high horse. How many more metaphors can I pull out?
Right.
You just don't get to. You don't get to attach strings to non-discrimination.
This is a negotiation, Frank.
That's how they're playing it.
Right.
They're playing it as a negotiation in the public's.
You give us some.
Yeah.
It's a give and take. It's a quid pro quo, Franklin.
Fuck them.
Here's the quote that I was looking for.
You don't get to remain. You don't get to still be bigots. You can still be bigots, but you can't.
Here's what he said. This is one of them said. Nothing is achieved if either side results to bullying, political point scoring, or accusations of bigotry.
Oh dear God!
I got news for you, bitch. If you're a bigot, I'm going to accuse you of bigotry.
Absolutely. Period.
That's it. That's the end. Here's the thing. They're crying foul about their religious freedoms. Religious freedom is already enshrined in our Constitution.
You guys are fine.
You have your religious freedom. Yeah. No one is trying to take it away.
And guess what?
There's literally no human being in our country trying to take away your religious freedom. Look left, look right. They're not there.
Right. Just like we have freedom of speech. And if you're using your freedom of religion in ways that, we don't like, we get to say that. We get to point that out. Right. And if you're being bigots, we get to call you bigots.
Yep.
Period.
It's the end of the conversation. You don't get to take the word bigot off the table.
No.
I mean, this is basically it's a cute ploy. It's an adorable little attempt to reframe the conversation.
I guess we're hearing what a death rattle sounds like.
To me, what this sounds like. Now, here's an interesting thing. I've talked about him before. A friend of mine, friendish of mine, an acquaintance of mine who I'm friends with on Facebook, who's a very politically minded and very conservative Mormon.
Okay.
But an interesting thinker. Not always great, but interesting a lot of the time.
All right.
He wrote an article about this. I mean, now he's in the theater sometimes. He is sometime of the theater.
Okay.
Which means he has come across a number of gay people.
Oh, so some of his closest friends
are probably gay.
Okay. And does he?
And he's like, you know what? The church needs to go farther than this.
Really?
Yeah. He wrote a whole blog post that was basically like, this isn't enough. But he's also seeing the writing on the wall, and the writing on the wall is very clear. Right. Anybody who's going, in 10 years, if you've got an anti-gay stance, you're going to look more and more hateful.
Yeah.
You're going to look more and more antiquated.
Yeah.
You're going to be the big, dumb, bigoted dinosaur.
And then how do you get your president elected then?
Exactly.
Yeah. It'll be another however many decades after that. And they want that president.
Well, and as soon as I heard that there was a press conference, I was like, this relates to Mitt. Oh, yeah. I don't know what this is, but this relates to Mitt.
Yeah.
I think what they've done is they've found the closest they can come to a stance that helps them in the primary.
Yeah.
Which is that we still hate the gays. Oh, don't kid yourself. We still hate the gays. But then for the general election, but we support their rights.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we're going to be hearing these kinds of things out of Mitt's face.
Yeah.
A whole bunch.
Yeah.
We're going to be hearing a lot of religious freedom talk.
Yeah.
Out of Mitt's
religious freedom
head.
will be the primary. Supporting gay rights will be the general.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Huh. You heard it here first, kids. It's but that's where we stand. I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch all of the religions start flopping around like fish on the deck of a boat, as societies in general start to come to terms with the gay thing and start realizing that my cousin is actually really, really cool, and he's gay, and my sister is great and she's gay, and wait. This can't be right. It can't be that they're bad for being gay because they didn't choose it. And then they start,
But what about the bad gay people?
Well,
what about that douchebag cousin?
Yeah, exactly.
What about the guy at work who's just a fucking prick.
Yeah, well, gay people have the right to be dicks as well. But in the end, it's exposure that changes things.
Yeah.
And the exposure has now happened. It's too late. You can't unring that bell. And and it's going to be fun over the next couple decades to watch the religions trying to come to terms with it.
Well, they'll wrestle with it for a while, and then all of a sudden,
God will tell
them that, oh no, we've loved them all along.
Right, exactly.
Their time has come.
The Mormons, their
time has come.
The great thing about the Mormons is that like it'll be 10 to 20 years later than it should have happened, but then God will suddenly inspire their prophet to say, "Oh, by the way, gays in the temple. It's fine.
It's beautiful. This was my
great."
plan all along.
We had to wait until the world was ready.
This was my plan.
I give you these things line upon line and I almost said pretext upon pretext. I don't think that's really what the quote is, but
precept upon precept.
But mine's better. I think that's pretty funny. Anyway,
okay.
So there you go. Watch as just be you don't have to change anything in this world. All you have to do is just look around and watch, and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
If you have anything to say about this, if you think we've missed a valuable point in this whole thing, please write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or leaves a voicemail, 424-666-8442 is the number.
We'd love to hear your voice.
Yeah.
You can go to the Facebook page and see a whole bunch of stuff, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Or on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge.
Right. And I will search you. Dun, dun, dun. Remember to support our Joyride campaign. That's go to thankgodimatheist.com and click on the Joyride button, and you can see our little cute video that we made. It's adorable.
Really nice. It's nice.
We're both we're both so handsome in it.
Yeah, and we've got some nice rewards set up there for you.
Yeah.
So you set up a little monthly payment. And it helps us out tons. We're trying to, spruce up the show.
Yeah.
And so you can be a big part of that.
Yeah. It's funny because we've lately had a lot of new podcasters writing to us and being like, "Your show sounds great. What are you using?" And it's just like, "Oh no. We're using bad equipment. We're just making it work well.
We just know how to use it.
We just know how to make it work well. Don't copy what we're doing. That's the wrong thing." So we're actually going to upgrade, and then we'll use good equipment well.
Yeah.
Boy.
And then what sounds really good will sound even better.
We'll both sound like James Earl Jones.
It'll be amazing.
It'll be like Morgan Freeman and James Earl Jones have a podcast together. Suddenly we'll both be just manly and dulcet.
Yes.
Dulcet tones.
Dude. Please visit.
Wait a minute.
What?
Was that your James Earl Jones impression just then?
It was just a deep voice.
Simba.
All right, check us out on the web, thankgodimatheist.com.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
And thanks to Mackenzie for all of her help on Facebook, and thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their music.
It's all great. We so appreciate everything that they do. Mackenzie, you're amazing.
Absolutely.
Red Rock Hot Club, you're amazing.
Absolutely.
And listeners, you're amazing too. Bye.